Welcome back to another video. My name is Nikos. Today we're talking about the Canon EOS R. This camera has been golden for me. I love this camera. And the question has been, is it good in 2022? This has been the #1 question I've been asked. And primarily because it's like $500 off up here in Canada. I haven't checked to see in the States the different deals happening, but here it's big. And people have been like, yo, I'm working on my business. Should I buy the Canon EOS R? Should I upgrade? I got the RP, or I got a T7i, or I got a 80D. Should I just bypass the RP and go right for the R? Should I go right to the R6 since those were on sale? And it's been a lot of questions based on money. And I always bring it back to workflow. Is it based on your workflow that you need to upgrade? If it is, then let's talk about that. And then we look at the idea of investment and how this turns into an investment. Because let's face it, it's a lot of money to upgrade, and it's not just the camera body. You got to be looking at a whole bunch of aspects. Now, overall, I'm going to walk you through this idea of this camera. I'm not going to give you the specs because you can go check those out. I'm going to give you my workflow. I'm going to tell you how good this has been, why I'm upgrading to the R6 and the R5. And then I'm going to walk you through on the upgradability path and just think about different scenarios so you can put that into perspective when you decide to make a purchase. Now, for me personally, if you're looking at this camera, it is a workhorse. So with the limitations that it has, it gets the job done. If you're looking at it for, hey, I'm up and coming, I started in this kind of like movement forward, I picked up something like a T7i, an 80D, and now I've bought some lenses. I'm thinking about upgrading and doing some work with 4K, getting some better pictures with bigger size images, the full frame factor. This is great. This does the job. I've done a lot of work with this thing. This is great. I can't complain. Okay? Now, when the new cameras come out, then you sit there and you go, ooh, okay, that's kind of like what I thought this would have, right? So the two actual cards, this should have had it. They should have launched this with that. This camera would be golden. The other aspect, I can shoot nonstop with this. It never overheats. And I looked at some of the conversations happening online and people who looked at the software and this and that, and I'm no doubt this could be shooting 4K full frame, but it's cropped. And because it's cropped, it's bloody annoying. But I mean, it gets the job done. I've been shooting more and more 4K, and this was a big reason of why I wanted to upgrade to the R6 and of course the R5. And I'm looking at it and it's like, you know, you're jumping in and you're going on the new RF glass. So you got to think about that. There's an adapter. So, I mean, you're able to do the things you need to do. So if you're in a workflow where you're just doing this and you're just making sure you do videos and you get everything done, then yeah, this is like awesome. This camera is great. Like, you're going to get what you need, and you can do 4K, and you just put it on a nice lens like this, and you're off to the races. This is the go-to I've been using. It's the version 2 of the 16-35. This has been doing everything for me. It's been amazing for stuff like this. When it comes to photography, you name it, like you can just go with the nifty 50 and you're done. Like, I know there's a lot of people out there that are going to be like, oh, well, look, this is the reality of the matter. You need it for, like, say, your business. You want to do some photos of your product. You want to do these kind of videos. You want to get the job done. Like, this is awesome. It's king. And I'm going to do a full review on this stuff. Why? Because you can also get the RF lens and skip that one, and you're good to go once you upgrade to this, and then you don't even need the adapter on the lens. Now, what does the adapter look like? It's this thing right here. So when you throw anything on there, it's just kind of like, it just adds to it, and this is so annoying, especially when you're trying to put it in a bag, and then you're sitting there going, why isn't this going on? And you have to literally hold it with 2 hands like I'm doing right now, and then click it in, and okay, so camera, you throw it on, you're good to go, and then you have a nice smaller body and you're good. This is like, what, 250 bucks, whatever it was. You can also get some other lenses like this is the first one I bought, and this is a 35. This was my go-to. I love this lens. This is great. And now because I bought the bigger lenses, like the 15-35, that's that, and then the 24-70, do I really need to keep this? Well, yes and no. We can talk about that in another video. But you know, you go for an 85 like this, like, you know, 800 bucks. So you start to build your lenses if you go with the R, and you're good to go. If you go with an R6, you're spending an extra $1,000 right now. And it's like, is that worth it right now? Why? There's 2 things that you need to consider. Again, this camera can get the job done in 1080, and it can do it in 4K. And if you need some slow-mo, you can go into 60 frames and shoot 1080 and no problem. Now your 4K is great. You can always upscale stuff and get it to a quality that's like good. Now I started shooting everything in 4K because I didn't want to do that anymore, and I saw the quality on my 4K screens. The reality is if you're doing stuff for online, social media, this and that, it doesn't really matter that much, but because I have the capability, I'm doing it. That's it. Now, on the other side, workflow with clients. This gets the job done for me with the exception, again, that backup with 2 cards. And the autofocus isn't as strong as in R6, of course. But like I can take all the beautiful pictures with this. I can crop in. I've done amazing jobs with this. Okay. Now, do I do this on a full time? If we need something that's a better camera, we rent it. And we tell the client, hey, we're going to rent it. In most cases, in those projects, I'm working with other people that are going to go do a lot of this work. And I just kind of like, where am I coming in? I come in when I know there's a project, I can just get it done with this, and then I can make sure that that project gets done that way. And I leave the bigger projects in other scenarios where we're renting equipment and that kind of stuff into the hands of them. Now, that being said, okay, you're going to charge for this stuff. Now, I'm getting the R6, I'm getting the R5. If somebody wants 8K, I'm charging for that. If they want 4K and they want like slow-mo, I'm charging for that. I just like the expenses have gone up exponentially. So we got to think about this stuff. Do you need to charge extra for this? No, you don't. Like you don't. Now, here's the thing. You're going to go out, take pictures. You're going to be able to do your 4K. You're going to be able to do 1080p, do some slow-mo, and you'll be able to fit it on some regular UHS-1 cards and you'll be fine. Do I recommend getting a UHS-2 card for this? Yes, and this is the upgradability path that I was talking about. If you're in a similar workflow, this will do the job and you'll be able to do your shots. And on top of that, you can start investing into the R6 and R5 future thought processes. By the time you start acquiring lenses, cards, okay, batteries, and you start to look at it, okay, I need 10-bit coming out of this camera. Well, now I can get a Ninja for it. I can do a whole bunch of other stuff and build up to the bigger cameras. Why? Because I'm just spending an arm and a leg on UHS-2 cards. I needed 2 for this. And then I'm looking at the R5 that's coming in and I need the CF Express cards. Like $800 a card on sale, on sale. That's Canadian. American, that's like I've seen them like between $400 and $600 for those terabytes. Like, and the quality, and you got to go with quality because like cards are cards, and you don't want to be stuck on a card that's a no-name brand, and then you're like, I don't understand how people do that, and they can survive. My stress is through the roof. So the idea again here is expenses compile. So if you're just starting out, do you really want to drop that much money? That's one thing we have to remember. The other thing we got to remember is, what do we need it as we go? If you're just starting out, you might change what you need. So if you go into an R6, but then realize, hey, there's some caveats with this camera and I should have bought the R5 and spent the extra money, now you're in that situation. Or you could be like me, who was like, should I switch to Sony? And I, honestly, if the deals weren't there, I probably would have switched to Sony. But they were there, and I went with Canon again. Why? Because I can flip all this stuff, and I will be fine, which comes to resale value. So when you're upgrading, here's the idea. If you have a T7i, and you're thinking, I'm going to go buy T8i, screw it, it's cheaper, and I can use my lenses and this and that, this resale value is what we're looking at. Okay? And if you want to do a bigger resale value, that is not the camera to look at resale value. Similarly, the 80D, okay, or differently, similarly, differently, okay? On the other end, the 80D, what that's going to do, the value of it's going to be maintained. It's kind of like the 6D Mark II. It maintains its value. Don't know why. It does. The 90D came out. It's a good camera. It shoots 4K, but it's got its limitations. And you look at it and you go, should I just go to the R? Okay. Should I just go to the RP? What should I be doing? So we're in that scenario, and yes, they're good cameras though. However, if you go to the R, this is maintaining itself. I can sell this right now in Canada on Kijiji. It's going for $2,000. This camera in the stores is going for $2,000. And I saw these get sold, which means they probably sold them for like $1,800 or something like that. Or what I've been seeing lately, whenever I email people, hey, I want that camera, what do you think? Because I was thinking about just buying 2 of these bodies. They're like, no, $2,000 on the dot. You're saving on the taxes, so you're good. On the other hand, for me, I also bought this back in the day, and I got it at a good deal, and now it's like $599. I saw, like, unless I was mistaken, like, oh my God, $599. So I can put this together, and I can make up the value within 10% of what I paid for, 10 to 15. So, I mean, that is great. It's like renting the camera for 15% of its cost for a year and a half, almost 2 years. Are you kidding me? No, it's been like 2 years. That's insane. Awesome. So we're looking at the resale value. Can I do that with the T7Is? They're great cameras and they get the job done for people that are just starting out. Like I've done a lot of work with those and people didn't even know I was shooting with the T7I. They're like, hey, this looks like great quality. And it's like, yeah. Okay. Why? Because it was all in the lighting, it was all in the sound, it was all in the creativity. There's all these other things that go into it. And if you're looking at it as a business person going, hey, I want to just get my company moving and get more social media moving and I want to do more videos, do you really need to spend R6 money? Do you really want to look at it and say, I need another $600 in cards? Do you really want to look at it and say, I need more batteries, I need this, I need that, and then the lenses, right? Can you still use this adapter on that camera? Yes, you can. But the idea is very simple here, okay? Very simple. I'm just going to say it as it is. You're looking at it and you're saying to yourself, what do I need as a bare minimum viable for the workflow I have? How is that going to help me? And then I'm going to look at it as an investment, not a spending, of what I'm going to do for the next round of purchases. So when you're time to go to the R6 or the R5, or the R5C is apparently rumored to come out, or another replica of the version 2 of the R6 and R5s come out in the next, year and a half, you know that you can either use this as a B cam, or you can sell this at a good price because this will still go good. Now, the idea again here is very simple. What do I need with my workflow? I was just going to go with the R6 and keep this. And then I started talking with some clients. I started talking with some other people. And then I have an overheating issue with this. When I'm in this room and these lights are on, it can go up to 25 degrees. When you go, and I'm not done testing, I will be doing a review on this camera, but at 23 degrees, it's like, we got to shut down. You get like 45 minutes and you're like, done. But at like 21 degrees, hey, we can go for an hour and a half. The R5 does not do this apparently, but we'll find out, I guess, right? And then if that's the case and it's not, then I'm going to switch to Sony. I can't deal with that. Like, it's just like, come on. I don't care how good the lenses are. Now, that being said, okay, we again look at it and go resale value. So if you look at these things, I think that you're going to make a more informed decision. Is this going to last a test of time through 2022, 2023, yeah, this will do magic. And at that, you're going to be good to go and the resale value will stay here for this. Hands down, I'm debating on selling this because I'd rather use it as my camera for my meetings than keep using the T7i that I have. And like I'm selling the other T7i because I was using both of them. And you sit there and you're like, well, this is awesome. Like, I can't complain. But I'll be doing a full review videos on all this. I wanted to get this message out because I want people to be looking at these deals and take a step back. There will always be deals, okay? This Canon EOS R, like here in Canada, it will be on a deal on Boxing Day right after Christmas, okay? In the States, I saw it last year, it was on sale again. What we're probably gonna see as well is that it's selling right now for $2,000 here in Canada. It's regular, $25.99 or whatever, or $24.99. They're probably gonna start to decrease the price of that, and it's probably gonna be like $23.99, and then they're gonna decrease it as they get ready to launch the version 2s or the 5RCs or whatever. So something to think about there and put that into perspective that there will always be deals. And at that, what I would recommend, 100%, go find this used. Like, if you can find this used at around $1,500, save that extra $500. This thing is a beast. And yes, like at the end of the day, would I be recommending this if I didn't use it on a daily? Yeah, like, come on, like hands down, I use it on a daily. So I have to recommend it. So that's what it looks like in the big scheme of things.